Hi friends, and how are you doing today? Thanks for connecting me for the discussion of one of the reading passages, and it would really help you to understand tips and tricks that you really need to keep in mind while attempting IELTS reading, and the strategies that really can help you to improve your timing, as well as most students complain that they fail to complete the reading text in time. Well, this passage has been recently seen in one of the real IELTS exam in the month of March, and since IELTS is a global test, so you can certainly expect this reading in the real exam no matter where you are. Tackling hunger in Mascani region in Africa, the question type we see is 14 to 20. There are paragraph. Need to locate the correct heading to these paragraphs. Then we can see the question type 21 to 24. There are blanks that we need to fill with no more than two words or a number, and we need to be very sure that we do not commit any kind of grammatical mistake while choosing those two correct words or one word, whichever is required. Finally, we are left with two questions only, and we have to figure out the two correct statements out of the given six statements. And first thing first, starting with the headings, and the only tip and trick and the best strategy to deal with this question type is that before you actually start reading the paragraph, or before you hit the paragraph A, you need to go through each and every list of heading that's been provided and highlight the keyword. For example, there are 11. We will quickly read these, and then we will start checking out the best answer for paragraph A. The very first one is why better food helps students learning. So it is the reason that food is the reason behind better learning. Becoming the headmaster of Mascani, so it's about headmaster, the strong keyword. Surprising use of school premises. Premises is the building, like school is, you know what, is for education, but there is a different use of school premises. Global perspective, that means the point of view is global. Why students were undernourished, the reason behind their poor diet or malnutrition. Surprising academic outcome, that means the results were beyond expectation. An innovative program to help girls, so there was specifically to do with the girls. How food program is operated means the actual functioning of this program, that how it works. How food programs affect school attendance, that means if there is food, it can affect the attendance at school. None of the unusual reasons means all the reasons are quite obvious. How to maintain academic standards, about maintaining the academic standards. So since we have gone through all the options, once we will start reading the passages, you will figure out that you are locating the answers far more quickly than going the other way around. So let's check out the very first paragraph. There are not enough classrooms at the Mascani Primary School, so have the lessons taken place in the shade of yellow-blossomed acacia trees. Given their storage, it might seem odd that one of the school purpose-built classrooms have been emptied of pupils and turned into storeroom for sacks of grain. That in the classroom, instead of students, they are emptied so that they can store these sacks of grains, which means we are taking a different use of the premises. So third is the correct answer. Paragraph B. Mascani is one of the poorest part of Malawi, a landlocked southern African country of exceptional beauty and great poverty. No war lays waste Malawi, nor is the land unusually crowded or infertile, but Malawians still have trouble finding enough to eat. Now again, you have the answer, isn't it? So there is no trouble there, like war or infertility or anything like that, but still these people don't get enough food to eat. So this is absolutely 10th, none of the usual reason, which would say that yes, there is infertility, yes, there are trouble with the weather condition, that's why we do not have the food. C. The headmaster, Mascani Bernard, has strong views on the subject. So here many students may get trapped with the headmaster. It's not about the paragraph, is that how he became the headmaster. They themselves saying that he is the headmaster, and the information is something about else, about his view on the subject. Since 1990, his people have received free school lunches. Donors such as the World Food Program provide the food. Those sack of grains in that converted classroom, local volunteers do the cooking, turning the dry ingredients to bland, nourish slop and spooning it onto the plastic plate. So all you can see that how exactly it works, how the funding from where the funding comes, and how the people or the volunteers participate in this program. So I hope you all have the answers on your mind. So hit the option A, how food program is operated. Next is D. When the school feeding program was introduced, enrollment in Mescani doubled. C. As soon as they introduced the food program, the admissions doubled. So I hope you can once again get the idea that the option has to be ninth here, that how food program affects school attendance. Usually you get the answer by reading the very first statement itself, because the complete paragraph is the development of that one statement. Because if you could figure it out from the very first statement, it's great, you can save the time. However, if you read more, what you would get is the explanation of the same thing. Now heading to the paragraph E, when a school takes in a horde of extra schools from the students from the poorest homes, you would expect standards to drop. Anywhere in the world, poor kids tend to perform worse than the better off classmates. When the influx of new pupils is not accompanied by an increase in the number of teachers, as was the case at Mescani, you would expect standard to fall even further, but they were not. Pass rate at Mescani improved dramatically. See, this is how the presentation of the statement was, that you would expect something to happen, but it didn't happen. See, this is how the sentence structure was itself, like they were expecting something, but it didn't happen. For example, the school had more number of poor students. They were expecting the academics would drop. There were not enough teachers, but it didn't happen in Mescani, and they say that it improved dramatically from 30 to 85%. So it rather improved. So here is the correct answer. You know that. Surprising academic outcome, because it is to do with their results, and such results are surprising. They were not expecting it. Better nutrition makes for brighter child. Most immediately well-fed children find it easier to concentrate, and once again we know the answer is because we read the very first information, very first statement, why better food helps students learning, and here it is about how the food helps students. Last one is on a global scale. Don't you know the answer? I guess once again we know the answer. If you really want, you can read it. The good news is that people are eating better than ever before. Homo sapien has grown 50%. Revolution, all the things are doing to favor the only option, that is fourth, global perspective. So I would, without wasting time, would hit the fourth as the answer for paragraph G. Moving on to the next question, type 21 to 24. Be super sure about the part of speech. What word would fit best in there? Noun, adjective, adverb, whatsoever. And we will always read or figure out that one statement that contains the answer, and from there we would extract the required word or two words. In Commander School, dash are given to girls after the end of school day. We know the paragraph where we read about this guy. C paragraph. Let's see what the girls receive. So let's try to look at the keyword girls in this paragraph, but if we read paragraph C, I don't see anything related to girls. So let's move on to paragraph D now, where in the last statement there is something to do with boys and girls. So why not read this paragraph? A child fed at school will now hold so plentifully for food at home. One plate of porridge a day completely alter the calculation. A child fed at school will not hold so plentifully for food at home. Girls who are more likely than boys to be kept out of school are given extra snacks to take home. See, I hope you understood the reason behind this particular program. It's that people are so poor there, they cannot afford to have food for their children. So school, just to attract more students so that they come to learn, they started to provide free food. Since girls are the one that most parents do not allow them to go to school, they started to give them extra snacks that they can take back home as well. For this reason, the girls also started to come to school. Amazing. We are in prosperous countries and we don't realize what people are suffering and going through. But I would say the answer is pretty easy for this one. Commander school, dash are given to snacks are given to girls at the end of the school. Many children from poor families were sent to collect dash from field. That means we would still be stuck in this paragraph because we need to figure out that what they were sending the children to collect. Let's try to read more about this paragraph. Some of the new pupils had switched from nearby schools that did not give out free porridge, but most were children whose families had previously kept them at home for work. Okay, so they were not letting their children to go because they want them to work at home. These families were so poor that the long-term benefit of education seemed unattractive when set against the short-term gain of sending children out to gather firewood. See, here it is gather and there is collect. So what they were collecting firewood. So this was the motive of the parents to keep the children at home so that they can go and collect the firewood. Thanks to the free food program, dash of students passed the test. I think we read about the same thing, that food was the driving force, and it helped how many? From 30 to 85%. So answer has to be 85% of students pass the test. Now the modern human is dash bigger than before after the industrial revolution. It's in the last paragraph. I think we read about it. It's in the last paragraph, second statement itself. Homo sapiens, we know that we are the Homo sapien race, and Homo sapiens has grown 50% bigger since the industrial revolution. So it has to be 50% because the answer was expecting a proportion. Lastly, we are left with a type of question which is more like an MCQ. We have to figure out two correct statements. We will read all, and out of the information that we have read from the paragraph, we will seek the two correct. Some children are taught in the open air. I hope you all remember when we read the first paragraph, we read about it that they are reading under the shade of trees so that the food can be kept safe or protected in the classroom. So A has to be the answer. Commander became the headmaster in 1991. I really don't think that it is the answer because it's definitely talked about this guy, but it was talking about 1991 year to describe something that what was happening in that year. No new staff were recruited when attendance rose, and absolutely correct. I hope you remember in E paragraph it said that it was expected to standards to fall when not accompanied by an increase in the number of teachers, but it didn't happen. That means the number of teachers remained the same. So the answer has to be C. I think we already got two correct, but still we continue to read to make sure we haven't made any mistake. Girls are often treated equally with boys in Malawi. It's not about often treated equally. Scientists have devised a way to detect the most underfed students in school. I really don't think that we read anything about the scientists or having a device to detect or something. WHO is worried about malnutrition among kids in developing countries. There is nothing like this because it was about one country only, and how they are tackling this problem it was mentioned. So it's nothing to do with the WHO's concern about the same, though it is in the last paragraph. We can quickly read why it is mentioned there. The proportion of children under 5 in the developing world who are malnutrition to the point stunning fell from this since it has dropped. So it is not a concern. I would say it is a good thing that the percentage percentage, or there is a drop in the percentage of malnutrition. And that's it. So if you follow this till the end, I really appreciate if you can mention in the comment section your name and the country you are following me from, and how you find today's reading discussion. And I would be grateful if you share the videos with your other friends as well and recommend them to subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching the video. Bye bye for now.